Imagine if you didn't have to apologize for your dog barking in the background of your virtual office. Imagine if you had work-life balance that allowed for more walking meetings instead of sitting at a computer all day. Imagine if you had flexible hours and you could take your kids to and from the bus stop. Imagine if you had a green screen that didn't exist because you could get your work done from anywhere. Imagine if your boss understood you. Why does this have to be a figment of our imagination? It's time for us to make this a reality. As I reflect on my journey, I'm embarrassed to say I was never a big fan of the water cooler chat. I didn't used to care about what my coworkers did on the weekends or maybe a funny cat story. All I cared about was the work. Were we on track? Were we going to meet that deadline? Were all the logistics ironed out? Go or no go? But about a decade ago, a powerful boss stopped me in my tracks and said, "Laura, you'll never climb the ladder by stepping on others." This struck me. This resonated with me. Why was I being so rigid, so business? Why was I willing to sacrifice the human connection for the work? This was my aha moment. And this is when I changed my thinking all around. Supported teams are successful teams. We have to get to know one another. We have to ask questions. We need to be silly and open and honest with each other. We need to bring out the best in one another. When I think about this, what did my team do? We actually cared for one another. And this changed how we showed up. This was trust. We had each other's backs, and we got work done, and we had fun doing it. Supported teams are successful teams. So let's ask each other those questions. Now, at first, this felt fake. It felt a little inauthentic to ask questions, personal questions, and stay in the moment. It was a lot of work learning how to listen. But this strengthened bonds, and it got easier with time, and certainly more natural. As leaders, we have the power to serve and put our people first. As you advance in your career, a common misconception is that others work for you. But in reality, you work for them. We have to create a sense of belonging. We have to create a trusting environment. When was the last time that you asked your staff, how are they doing? And really asked and really listened. Maybe even when you get the canned response of when you ask how they're doing and they say, I'm good. Are they? Maybe follow up and ask, is there anything I could do differently to support you? Do you need help? Create that space. And if they lean in and share, thank them for being vulnerable and sharing. You've just strengthened that relationship. When was the last time you asked them, what's working well? What should we keep doing? How about what needs to change? When I asked my department these questions, I was shocked at some of the results and answers that said, let's have less aggressive meetings. Let's have more cross-team collaboration. Let's have more meaningful performance reviews. Wow, people want to know how they can do better. And this should not be reserved for a once-a-year thing. We need to use feedback as a tool for improvement. We need to create feedback loops so that we can constantly hear each other's ideas. One of my mentors framed it best. It's not feedback, it's feed forward. What are you going to do with this gift? How are you going to take this change or suggestion and move it forward? Feedback is a very powerful tool, and it shouldn't be uncomfortable. We should create a culture of safety so these types of conversations happen all the time. And as leaders, we could do that by promoting rounding, checking in with our staff while checking our own egos at the door. How about asking, what are we missing? What did we not consider? Creating that space for our teams to bring forward other ideas is instrumental at making sure we catch everything. And just when you think things are buttoned up, pause and ask, what did we miss? Anything we should consider? We need to experiment and have an openness with others' ideas. Chances are it's probably been a little while, if at all, since you've asked your staff these types of questions of, do they feel valued? What should we change? Do they feel supported? What should we keep doing? Send out a survey and ask your staff these questions, and then get comfortable with the uncomfortable when you read answers that you don't want to hear. Share those results with your leadership team. Come up with a plan to proactively and positively affect change, and commit to that change, because culture change starts with you. Our teams are made up of people from all walks of life, and they bring different perspectives. And this is the joy of a team. We need to invite people in and raise them up so that they can do their best. Everyone has unique strengths, so let's tap into those strengths. When people find joy in their work, they're more likely to produce better outcomes. So we have to tap into people's strengths and let them rise up to the occasion to do their best on a project or a task that aligns with their strengths. So how can we continue to be flexible in this virtual world? Think about how you show up as your best. What does that look like? We all have good days and bad days. On our good days, we shine and people are drawn to our positive energy. But on bad days, we need to take action too. We need to give ourselves space and grace. It's okay to move things around and change our schedules to maybe work on more independent things on days that are tough. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to take breaks and walk away. It's okay to take a mental health day. It's okay to do your best and ask others to help you. These okay statements are called the unspoken rules. As leaders, we need to set clear expectations and speak these unspoken rules. Why should these types of statements be kept in the dark? So think about how you show up and speak the unspoken rules. We have to remember that during these challenging times, high stress times, we need to be there for our people and flex and bend to meet our workforce at their needs. Everyone is struggling with different things, whether it be a child who's remote learning at home, or taking care of a sick or loved one, or perhaps a financial hardship or their own mental health challenge. We need to increase our support to our workforce. We have to show up for them. We have to communicate and over-communicate and be transparent as leaders. We need to tell them the why and help invite them in for the decision-making process. Empathy at its core is strong people management. Empathy is hearing the unvoiced questions. Empathy is anticipating needs. Empathy is attributing positive intent and increasing our level of understanding to a whole new level. You never know how someone's day may have started. So let's give that person their own space and grace and listen wholeheartedly. You never know what may be happening behind that green screen. So let's be kind. Culture change starts with you. Thank you.